Good morning, my friends.
Good morning, sir.
So people are yet joining. Many are yet to join. Okay. So we saw the product development sequences. We are now acquainted with more or less that how a product development takes place, at least stepwise. Now, not the details of the step. It's not possible also to run through all the steps in one single class or single course. But definitely, you know that what are the basic steps one needs to follow for the effective or efficient product development. Now, many companies have some critical issues when ideas pour in. Because after the ideas are generated, ideas are filtered, you see that you enter the 0th stage of that product development, that is planning. We have not yet started planning. Now, for example, a company, say Maruti, say for the sake, say Maruti is they want to bring out electric vehicle. Okay. So they have just a new idea that they want to work on electric vehicles. It's fine. They also want to launch, say, some of their popular models in, say, duo mode, that is the CNG and petroleum mode, because the cost of oil is going up day by day. So they want to launch duo modes, that means CNG, petrol, double combination. You can drive in the either one. So this is a new idea. They also want to launch a set of cars in the same variant or in the same segment like Alto caters, and they want to bring another car with certain changes in the variant or on the variant Artiga. So you have multiple ideas. Now what will the company do? Yes, my friends, any idea? Say if you are joining a company like this, a problem like that comes to you. There are so many different ideas. They are pouring in from different stakeholders. So what will you do about that? How will you go about that? Which one to take forward and which one not to take forward? Yeah, noise is coming from somebody. I think Rishi. Rishi, can you mute yourself? Oh, thank you, Rishi.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
No. It's okay. Thank you. But can you tell? I mean, anyone of you that how will you go about that? This is a very typical problem which will always come wherever you work. You have lots of ideas. They are all filtered, mind you. From the idea generation, they have gone through the filter.
Can you repeat the problem once again?
Yeah. Say Maruti has come up. They want to make launch electric vehicle in another 1 year. Okay. They have never made electric vehicle in their life. I mean, I'm just taking the example of Maruti. I mean, you can take company X also. Why Maruti? Because we know more or less the models. Say they want to also now bring about a duo model. Duo means a CNG as well as petrol. The vehicle can run in both. In certain model where it doesn't exist. Say in Swift Desire, it doesn't have a duo model. Okay, so they want to put the CNG as well.
सबमिट कर दिया मैंने.
Yes, somebody? कोई कुछ बोला? Oh, noise. Okay. They also want to launch a new variant in the market where Maruti Alto caters. That's a lowest price variant caters. They also want to bring some modifications in their product Artiga with a lot of other safety devices and many other tweaking of the particular product. Now, all these ideas have passed through the idea generation and idea funneling stages. Okay, they are selected ideas. Now, how will the management decide that which projects to pursue, which projects not to pursue? Mind you, all the ideas at the idea generation stage and idea screening stage, people told they are good ideas. But how to decide on that? Yes. My friend, you got the thing?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. This is a typical thing. Whenever you join any company, this will happen. So will they go for working in the multiple projects? Or no, they will put down some projects? Or what will they do?
Sir, I think they'll go for like limited projects. They won't like try out all the ideas because that's definitely not feasible.
Definitely not feasible, economically at least, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, but you will see that our Samsung, for example, Nokia, the good manufacturers of mobile phone, they keep on launching every other product every month or every 3 months, once in 3 months, once in 6 months, some updation of it's a new product, new product development. Okay, so that is their what they are doing actually. So that is why. So before uh, product development project finally kicks off. Okay, we do product planning. So that is why product planning is very popularly referred to as your zeroth step of product development. Let me share. Yeah, are you able to see the slides? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, good. So here we'll be trying to look at certain these questions. I mean, I just started with an example, but these issues actually will be looked over in product planning. So unless you plan properly that which products to pursue and which products not to pursue, or which products to pursue now or which products to pursue at a later stage, it is very difficult to get along with the next steps of the product development, right? Because you require investment in all these steps. So that's why this product planning precedes the product development process. Now here mostly we will be learning with a case study of a famous company called Xerox, Xerox Corporation. It's really a famous company. It is so famous that we almost misuse the term Xerox, right? Because you send somebody for making a photocopy of a page, we call it that you Xerox karke le aao. But that's the name of a company. Now after that, with the same technology, many other companies have come forward, like Canon and all. They're also very good at HP, Canon, so many. But we still tell it Xerox. I mean, it got synchronized with the process itself. So the product planning activity, what does it do? Now, it addresses this following basic questions. What are those? What product development projects will be undertaken? As I gave an example of the vehicle manufacturing company, same we'll be looking for with the Xerox company. Then, next one, what mix of fundamentally new projects, products, platforms, and derivative products should be pursued? See, fundamentally new products means there is an element of research in that, right? Because you need to do a lot of internal research, so it's a time-taking process when you refer to certain thing as fundamentally new. So it's a time-consuming process. So many human sources are required, and Also there is a risk of failure because it can fail always. Then your platform products, we already know something because we heard the terms in our last two classes, I think. And derivative products. So whenever such a problem comes, we don't discard any product, idea of, right away. We will try to accommodate it, but in a fashion which we'll be looking at in this particular topic. Various projects relate to each other as a portfolio. So by the end of this topic, we will learn two things. First of them is to make a portfolio of projects. The portfolio means it contains lots of projects. So the details of each project will be drawn in that particular portfolio. And lastly, what will be the sequence of the and the timing of the particular projects? What time one particular product can be launched in the market? In what which product first, which product after that? These are purely very strategic decisions. When you should know where your competitors are. Depending on that, these decisions are generally taken. How the market responds is, what is the economic condition of the market, financial position of the people around, and then of course the how your competitors are looking at your product or will look at your product once it is launched. Now, each of these selected projects is completed by the whatever team has been given or assigned for doing that particular product development. And before you start the product development, that is from the next step after product planning, you need to know or the team should know the mission. It is after, okay. We run after some missions. So what is the mission? So the answers to all these critical questions, what we saw in the initial slide, are basically included in a mission statement for the team. Now, we saw when we did the idea generation and idea screening chapter that the output of that is idea statement. And we have learned to write the idea statement. Okay. Okay. Just excuse me, somebody has come. Very sorry, somebody has come, is knocking the door. Anyway, so the output of now, so the input to the planning is, as you know, ideas which are passed through the idea screening stage, or rather the idea statements. So each idea will be an idea statement where you know the exact idea, the exact focus group, more or less through which you will be selling the product or the channel of selling the product, so on and so forth, and where actually you place your product with respect to your competitors. One line statement is called the idea statement. So when it enters the planning stage, then after the proper product planning, the output of product planning is a mission statement. Now mind you, the difference between idea statement and mission statement is, idea statement is a single sentence, mission statement is not, although it's known as mission statement, but it contains a series of statements. And what are the answers given in the mission statement? This is number one. What market segments should be considered in designing the product and developing its features? Very important. Market segments. So first itself you see business, nothing about the product. which are the market segments you will be catering to this particular new product. What new technologies, if any, should be incorporated into the new product? If any, new technologies. New means new to the world, or maybe also new to the company also. What are the manufacturing and service goals and constraints? Okay, what can be constraints? Here itself, that's an idea, it's a rough idea. It's not that you know exactly, because the team might not be exactly aware of the entire all the plants and machineries of the particular company, particularly if the company is huge. It's a single shed company, people generally know. So multi-geographical locations and all you have, then it's difficult for people to know that what is there around. So what are the manufacturing and service goals and the constraints? What are the financial targets for the project? That is very important for the company. Because ultimately, I told you that we do everything for money. And lastly, what are the budget and the time frame of the project? So this is very, very important. Now, a company can only be very effective or effectively perform the product development if they consider the set of potential projects they should pursue, and they should decide that which are really desirable ones, which should be launched first, which should be launched after that, which should be launched a few years later, so on and so forth. Because based on that, the top management will now man your project. How many people will be required? Or they will divide a time of one particular person into different projects. Prioritize their human force, their all other resources, not only human resources, all other resources needed for pursuing all these projects. Now we'll be looking at the Xerox Lex project. For example, Xerox Document Center 265, there was a case study. So we will see from the excerpts of the particular case study. When we talk of a product plan, I told you that product plan basically ultimately will identify the particular portfolio of products to be developed by the organization and their time to introduction in the market. Now the planning process considers these product development opportunities, including suggestions from marketing, research, customers. You have current product development teams. You have your competitors' products against which you will be benchmarking your products, so on and so forth. So, initially itself, a portfolio project is chosen. More or less, the time of launch or time of completion of the projects are outlined. And at a later stage, basically, we look at the financial implications of each and every project also. Now, this project plan, don't think that it is fixed. It remains fixed. It is very stagnant. You can update it, because if you are trying to launch something which if you see that competitor has already launched, then you need to revise your product. Definitely, you will be not launching the same product. You'll be trying to give some edge, some other features in the product which will have an edge on your competitor's product. So basically, in this product plan, it should reflect the company's capabilities, their constraints, their ultimate aims or goals, whatever you say, and of course competitive environment around, or to the competitive environment in the particular market segment it is trying to launch these products. So very senior management teams are involved in this initial stage, in this product planning stage. Now, if you see the, if you remember the table, it's difficult to remember, but if you go through the table, in the phase 0, where I've told that other functions, the general management, if you see, you have the table basically in the note which we have Rajesh has circulated yesterday. You'll see the general management will allocate the project resources in these planning stages, phase planning itself, phase 0, that is the planning stage itself. Okay, because that is very important. I mean, then it gives a clear indication whether the company or how serious the company is with the particular new product or development. Okay, so here, if you see this product plan, the Xerox company, see, they have divided their ideas into certain different types of product portfolio. One, new platform, derivatives, improvements, and fundamentally new. Now, what are new product platforms? This calls for major development effort. And what is the outcome of this? A totally new family of products based on a totally new platform. Okay. Now, the new product family will definitely address familiar, markets and product categories. So, Xerox Lex project is basically aimed at the development of new digital copier platform, and that's why you see the word Lex and Hudaka. Hudaka was there. I mean, is there. I mean, will be a new platform, but after that, the derivative will come. Maybe in the Hudaka project, what they aimed was a new digital copier platform. Sorry, a new digital platform, but here some other features like fax and other things were added in the Lex platform. So when it comes to the derivatives means they extend an existing product platform to better address the familiar markets with one or new products. It's basically additives to develop, a new copier based on existing light lens, not digital platform. Before this digital platform, actually, this light lens thing used to be there when we were actually students. I mean, it used to be very cumbersome process. After switching the machine on, you need to wait for at least 10 to 15 minutes till things get heated up. And then only you can, start photocopying the machine and all, because the ink has to come to a particular temperature. The drums have to come to a particular temperature. Otherwise, things will not work out. Very faint, some impression you will be getting, but never good quality of photocopies. So that basically is, we call it the light lens age. So now we have gone to a digital age. Maybe this derivatives of HNet and LNet, you can refer to them as the non-digital platform. That's the light lens one, which, mind you, which is there in the market. You are still adding features to that. So Maruti today, if they launch electric vehicle, do you think that it will stop improving the existing Alto? It will not. They will continue to add features to that. It is that type of product we are referring to as derivatives. Okay. Then you have the incremental improvement to existing product. Now, this incremental means the very small features, which doesn't really require a lot of research, a lot of development activity, and there is no risk in improvement in that particular sense also, that the risk is also minimum. You can just add it. You can just change the cover. You can just change the look. That is also an improvement. Okay. You can change the cover in such a way that your dart will not get accumulated on the particular machine. That's an improvement. But it is nothing much to do with the performance of the machine. But it's definitely an improvement. So they have taken up some improvement projects. These are the codes they have used, 595, 6010. I don't know the meaning of the code, don't ask me. They have their definitely internal methods of coding things. So they have coded it like that. And another is the last one, the fundamentally new product. Now these are radically different product. That means it calls for totally new, production technologies, new types of machineries, maybe a new set of people to work for that, much more trained in some technologies and all. So for example, now people are working so much on this big data analytics and all. One time will come, you really require experts on that. AI and ML. Everybody of us are claiming that we are working on AI ML, but true AI ML people, I mean, there are not many experts, I should say. So that type of expertise will be required in the near future. So this fundamentally new means it calls for huge investments. So because it is fundamentally new, it's on the research stage. Now this is how you see they have made here plan for say 5 years, 96, 97, 98, 99 and 2000. 5 years plan, and in the 5 years plan 1996 this Khudaka, it's a new platform project will be launched, followed by another new platform Lex. We may call it new platform, may call it a derivative of a new platform also, the Lex project. Then you have some derivatives which will be still working on, which are the old machines. People who have purchased, they expect a life of at least 10 years before throwing them up. So for them, again, some derivatives, HNet, LNet, certain improvements, 595, 6010, 392 and 393, and the fundamentally new that they have referred to as the Astro project. So in this way, the product portfolio is basically created initially. Now we'll be evaluating what are the basis and all throughout as we go get along with this particular topic of product planning. So with this background, now what if you don't plan properly? What will happen? These are the things which will happen. An inadequate coverage of target markets with competitive products. Poor timing of market introduction. I tell you, this is very important. You see, Nano's time of introduction. I mean, there are many reasons for Nano's failure. Our car, Nano, Tata make. But one of the major reasons was definitely the timing of market introduction, which they have conceived of that it got shifted by at least more than a year, and it got a beating in the market. Okay, by that time, you see, Maruti has already come with low-priced Maruti, which they were telling that they replaced the initial engine with the aluminum-based engine. That's the K10 engine. Then they came with Maruti 800 back to the market again with a low-priced edition of Maruti 800, so on and forth, just to fight. I mean, people thought that initially the price of Nano was placed at 1 lakh. Now, since the project got delayed, we'll also see in this product development how the delay of time basically increases your product price. Okay, we'll be doing the mathematics also there. That is a product costing when we will see. So since it got delayed by 1 year, when they launched the product, practically it became 1.5 lakhs, and the better variant was 1.65 lakhs or something like that. And Maruti, this Alto came with a low-priced edition at 2 lakhs. So people thought, why not go for Alto, just by for the sake of 50,000 rupees. So that was one of the reasons, not the major, only reason for failure of Nano, but one of the reasons definitely. So poor timing of market introduction of products. So that is there. Mismatches between aggregate development capacity and number of projects pursued. Okay, there's a mismatch. When this aggregate development capacity, you have internal capacity of the company, and you have maybe the projects are less pursued. So it's unutilized. Your resources are unutilized. Any unutilized resource causes tremendous effect, negative effect on the cash flow of a particular company. So we should be very cautious that whatever we purchase should be utilized fully when it comes to an organization. Even at your home also, please be conscious about that. Poor distribution of resources. Some projects overstaffed and it's not done properly, which one to launch fast, which one next. Then of course the staffing and the human resource, putting the right number of people for a particular project doesn't happen. Then you have initiation and subsequent cancellation of ill-conceived projects. It happens. It can anyway happen after proper planning also it can happen, but if not planned, it will happen more. Okay, and frequent changes in the direction of the projects. This also can happen again if the market changes drastically. If not, but if not planned, then definitely this will always happen. Okay, frequent changes in the direction of the particular project. What is the process? Now we have seen the process of product development. So what is the process of product planning? Now, this is the one. So identify opportunities, and multiple opportunities are prioritized, and very promising ones are basically chosen. Then you allocate resources to the projects, and they are scheduled. So this planning activity will focus on the portfolio of opportunities and potential projects, and sometimes you refer to as, this is referred to as also the portfolio management. Oh, sorry. Okay, as the portfolio management. Now, once the projects have been selected and the right resources are allocated, and the timing also planned properly, then you have rather we need to develop a mission statement. We will learn, of course, what to write in mission statement, and mission statement should be there for each project. So the set of projects we have seen for Xerox, each project will have its own mission statement. What is the mission of this particular project? That is important. Each project will have a different customer group. Each project will have different, target financial effect on the particular company, so on and so forth. So each of these projects will have its own mission statement, and the formulation of this pre-project planning and ultimately a product development process. So now, once we think of the particular project, we should know this curve will be again seen in one other form when we do the product costing, product development economics rather. This we should bear in mind that this is a typical life cycle of a business venture. Okay, now it looks like an S-curve. We call this product life cycle, or sometimes called PLC. If you type PLC in your Google also, you will see product life cycle will come, and it will definitely show you the S-curve. It is not truly S, I should say, but we are only concerned about the S-curve, because once it reaches, the S-curve on the top, we are seeing the late growth and maturity. It is reaching almost a plateau, and after that, after a certain time, again there will be a decline, and there will be a death also. Like we are born, we should die one day. Any product which comes will have its natural death with time, either with evolution of new technology or with evolution of new tests. So whatever may be the reason, okay, but any product will also have its own death. Now death is not shown in this S-curve, because we see that once the decline starts, we are not interested, because anyway the product is going to die. So whatever product development we will learn, we'll try to learn or try to discuss in this particular course, is up to the plateau stage only. So it has a startup. Now before startup, it has a pre-startup. That's basically comprises the ideation and the planning phase mostly. And then you have a startup. Then every product or every startup also you can think of, if it's a new company, startup company, they also have the similar type of curve. They face a situation called early growth, if your product is successful, of course, in the market. If people like, there is an early growth, and the early growth is very steep. Okay, initial growth is very steep. Then you have the late growth and maturity, and ultimately it will form a plateau. Now, why it will form a plateau? Because again, the next generation of product might come. Your existing technology might get disrupted by your competitor. Your competitors might come to the market with new products which are cheaper to you, technologically much better to you. Okay, you just think of Nokia. It was one of the ruling the entire globe. After a certain time, they were thinking of closing their companies also, particularly when the Chinese phones started coming at much cheaper price, very good. It's enough. I mean, if you buy a Chinese phone, at least 3 years, you know that it will perform. Then you can sell and get a new product with new features again. So when these types of situations happen, basically you reach a plateau, and there is chances of little growth. Although you try to do some product development there also, but that is only to sustain. We call those sustainable innovations. That is again we take up in the my class of innovation management, but that is to just sustain in the market. Now, here, the fear of the startups is in the startup phase or the pre-startup phase. You sometimes face with something called value of death. That's a highly financial crunch, particularly if you cannot ensure a good cash flow in the market from the initial sales. Then you meet with a value of death, and generally the company dies there. Most of the startups, 100 startups start today, 95 of them generally die or perish. Why? Because they fall into this value of death. Now, what is this? How to come out of this? We will see when we do the product economics. But just keep it in mind because it is important at this particular stage. This is true when you particularly launch a new product. It might be a complete failure. I told you there are lots of risks. So risk management is a separate department nowadays. Lot of risk means one is this type of risk, monetary risk, that the project has failed. One is of course your safety aspect. That's a highly risk, in particular for products which are where the safety aspects are called for. You have other sorts of risks I have already discussed. So here in this value of death, mostly the financial risk. When the product faces with some financial risk, it gets trapped into the value of. You can understand when it got trapped into the value of death, there is a financial risk and financial crunch related to the product in the company, and then the company is forced to stop that particular product. Because once it falls into the value of death, we have seen it's very difficult to come out of that. And this is another thing. Why I am discussing all these things now itself, there is a reason. Now, when you launch a product first, say, now this is a typical customer behavior pattern. Okay. Now, people differ in their adoption of new ideas. Only 16% of customers want to try out new ideas at some risk, and the rest adopt. An entrepreneur should study the characteristic of innovators and early adopters and target them for the initial market entry. You'll be getting this slide, you'll be reading through the line, but it has a big significance. Now, this is the customer behavior pattern of buying a particular product. It's a very typical one. It is more or less 100% true for any new product that comes to the market. Okay. It looks like it's called a bell curve sometimes. It looks like a bell. So initially, if it's a totally new technology, only 2.5% of the innovators will go for that. So just think of when the first mobile phone came. Many people were rubbishing the idea. Why this phone is required? It's not required. Do not work. Oh, so much costly. It was very costly. For outgoing, ingoing, both they were charging 12 rupees per minute. I had one, so I know that price. Okay. I had one, definitely I didn't go for, but my company gave me, so I had to give one. It was a Motorola phone with an antenna. I still remember that. Anyway, so only 2.5% of the people will go for any new technology, mind you. And then once these people, when the other people watching the market will see that there is no harm, these fellows have done, gone through some period nicely, then these early adopters basically enter the market, and that is 13.5%. I tell you again, it is true for anybody. Even you'll be astonished to know, or you know already, maybe better than me, in the vaccination program also it is the same. Initially, a lot of people didn't want to take the vaccine. It's not their fault. They were skeptic. What will happen if some side effects happen? What will happen if it's not tested? How can a vaccine come so early in the market? What will happen if there is a heart block after taking the vaccine? the women folks thought that if there is an issue in the pregnancy, so many things. Cancer patients thought that if I take the vaccine, I don't know what will be the cell growth. If it becomes faster, then I might have even lesser days to live. So many types of confusions came in the people. So the initial people who went for the vaccination are very less. That is, you can see, it's even less than 2.5%. After these fellows told, no, these guys are surviving still after taking the vaccine, then people started rushing. And that is even the early adopters, 13.5%. So that stage is over. 2.5 and 13.5, that amounts to 16%. So you see, it's written only 16% of the customers want to try out new ideas at some risk. And the rest we call early majority, late majority, and laggards. We generally refer to them as the adopters. They only adopt. Now, people who have not taken, now some are being forced also. See, if you are not having the vaccination certificate, you cannot book a hotel. You cannot, I mean, your air travel, you may need to show the certificate. If you want to enter some park or some restaurant, they are asking for certificates. So now people are taking. So they are all in the early majority, late majority, and laggards part. Okay. So why I showed this card is important, that you should know not only your target customer, you should know the percentage of customer who will go for your initial product is never more than 16%. I don't know I am clear or not. Say you want to soap try, you have brought out a new baby soap. Say between the newborn babies till the age of 1, so 0 to 1. So you have calculated now in India how many newborn babies are there at one point of time, say over a period of 6 months. So see if the number is X. Don't think that all the X people will buy your product. It will be maximum of 16%, even less than that. Why this number is important? Because depending on that, you will be producing the soaps. You should not produce a huge amount of soap and then keep it at a stock and then incur a loss. That should not happen. You should make soaps in such a way that your only target customer is 16% of X, not more than that. Not even 16%. Maybe you should only make 5% or 6% in it for the initial 6 months. See how the market responds, and then you can go for increasing your production or whatever it is. So at a startup phase means, of course, when I'm writing this word startup phase, it means that when you are entering the market, if you are new startup, student startup, you're starting some new venture from IIT Kharagpur. It refers to that. It refers for a new product launch also. For that product also it is a startup phase. Maybe in a very big corporate sector. Doesn't matter. But your target customer cannot exceed more than 16%. Many people, particularly in big companies, doesn't happen, they know it. But for people who launch their own companies, they become over enthusiastic and start making lots of products, and ultimately they run short of cash, and that is where they fall into the valley of death, which I showed you in the initial slide, just the slide before. Okay, so just keep it in mind, because the product, while planning for product or to develop a product plan and product mission statements, these percentages of customers should be borne in mind. Okay, good. So what are the 5-step process? It's a 5-step process.
Sir, I have one question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sir, this theory, this concept is still valid because as the time is progressing, more people are wanting to try new products and becoming early adopters. So is it possible the curve has shifted a little?
Is it possible? I didn't follow the last sentence.
Is it possible that the curve, which is symmetrical, is not symmetrical now, like the it has shifted to early adopters and um,
No, I will say rather the early adopter percentage remains the same.
okay.
Maybe there is a distortion of the car. What you are telling is correct. Not this I have drawn very evenly. So my freehand drawing only this is okay, but it may not be exactly this. Maybe that the laggards and all, or the what we are seeing, say this 34% and 34% what we have given, maybe this is 50%, and maybe this is some 18%, okay, or 20%, and this instead of 16% maybe 12% or 10%, that can happen. But generally this 2.5% and 13.5%, this has not yet changed, whatever you have done. Because mind you, say, I don't know your father's age, but generally people after 55 or 60, they generally don't, if new technology comes, they generally don't try to adopt it. Okay, so that age group always remains. Then among the women, I mean, with all my respect to them, of course, this age generally comes a bit lower, 45. After 45, they don't want to adopt. The young guys, they will try to adopt very fast. But again, from in them, you have something called basic education. If the education level is not high, they might not know about many features and all, they might not try it at all. Then you have their financial conditions, uh, below poverty line and all. If any, say for example, Apple has brought out so many products, right? Say iPod. How many iPods you have seen people using it? I mean, in your community, if you are middle class, upper middle class, maybe you have seen some, but lower, I'm sure you have not seen. Below, below middle class level, nobody has adopted iPod. They still ran with the Walkman for some time and then they left it. Now they have come to mobile. Mobile, they are very, it's a low price one. They understand iPod and all. What technology? Kya hoga? Such a small thing. What they are telling? So many songs. Is it possible? So many types of questions people have asked me also. Okay, when I mix with people in the chai ka dukan mein or wherever you mix, very common people, these are the questions, pertinent questions they will ask. So they are in their mind. So that for them, basically this they are this they cannot be in the innovators and early adopters group, but they might, the percentage might shift towards early majority. This initial 34% may get 45%. If they think the project is very useful or the price is coming down, they might go for it, but at the stage of early majority. But you should not consider that early majority when you are innovating and particularly developing a particular product. You should only eye at the initial 16%. Yes, my friend, am I clear or?
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you. What is the time, Rajesh? Time kya hua? 14.
12:48.
Okay, I just show this slide and we'll go for the exam. So it's a 5-step process. I just put the 5 points and then of course we'll discuss these 5 points next week. One is the identify opportunities, evaluate and prioritize projects, allocate resources and plan timing, complete pre-project planning, and reflect on results and the processes. So this product planning is a 5-step process. Then we'll go step by step and ultimately we'll be in a position to handle that if multiple projects come to us, how to identify, what are the basis to identify projects, priority basis, how to judge that which will call for financial investments, more financial investment and less financial investment and all those things. Okay, so with this I think let us go for the daily quiz. And before you write, yeah, tomorrow is your test exam. You should be there on time, 8 o'clock, so that you get time, because we cannot accept any answer after 8:55. 8:55 means it closes. Okay, you should be sure of that. So you have to write the paper, take a photograph, make a PDF, and then send it. So it will take some time. So better start early, 8 o'clock. That's better. You have to need to write. That's why. Huh? Okay, go for today's daily.
I have shared the link.
Very good. Thank you. Rajesh, tell me when the time is done.
Yes, sir. It is about to complete, sir. Sir, 5 minutes over.
Okay, so you got all the replies? Should be
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got all the.
89.
Yes, yes.
Good. Okay, the answer is a renowned biscuit manufacturing company wishes to launch a new series of wafer biscuits. The type of market dependent product wafer biscuit is, the answer is process intensive product. I gave this example when I was talking about process intensive product also. It is highly process intensive because wafer temperature, wafer thickness, length of the drying place, the amount of Cadbury's that need to come between the wafers, everything has to be highly process controlled. Okay, so it's a process intensive product. Number two, a software for intermittent charging of a battery bank in an electric vehicle is being developed by an automobile manufacturer. The types of product referred to here are types. So there are two types. You can tell it's a customized product because since the manufacturer is developing the software for himself, you can you can definitely refer to it as a customized product. If it is generalized for all manufacturers, then it cannot be a customized product. And second one is also correct. It's a quick build product because it's a software. So a lot of iterations can be done after the development to make it bug free. Risk of failures are very less, almost nil. So it can be referred to as a quick build product. So two answers you have for question number 2 and one answer, that is the process intensive product for question number 1. Anybody has any query?
Sir,
Hmm.
for the second one, it can also be a complex product, like an
Mm-hmm.
intermittent.
Complex product, I told you a software. They are developing only the software. Complex means I told it has to be a large product like a submarine, a vehicle, a car, a bus, an aeroplane, a warship, where lots of parts are involved. The assembly process becomes very cumbersome and complex. There we refer to it as a complex product.
So can you repeat the answer for the second? Like I just got disconnected.
Yeah, the answers are customized product and quick build product. Since it is a software, any software will come under quick build product. This is a thumb rule. Any software you develop, because you can do testing n number of times before you launch it. There is no harm in it, and it can be developed also quickly. Okay, so it is a quick build product. It can also be, yeah, bolo.
So for the first question, it may be come in the customized product. Like we have already existing thing, and we are just customizing the product. So
Renowned biscuit manufacturing wants a new series of wafer biscuits. They were manufacturing biscuits, but not wafer. Wafer means it calls for different treatments. All changes in the process parameters. So normal thin arrowroot biscuit or Mary biscuit, the baking process is different than the baking process of the wafer. It is highly process sensitive. It has no risks. It is not a generic product, of course. It is not a customized product, of course, but it is highly a process intensive. Every step, the process monitoring is important. I told you that's why again a thumb rule is a food industry generally we call it a process intensive product. A medicine manufacturer, if it's a normal medicine like like you say it's a Gelusil or some sort of antacids, okay, some known antibiotics, some known painkillers, it's a process intensive. But new set of antibiotics they want to launch, it will be a high risk product because they have to test it many animal testing. There's so many testing and so many permissions and all they need to have. So it will become high risk product. Are you getting me? All
yes,
quiet
sir.
on the other front. Yes.
Yes.
Have you read all quiet on the western front? How many people have read?
Yes, sir, I've read a short summary of the story, but not the full.
Oh, don't write. Don't. You are in the home at home. Please read the book. It's a small book. It's not a big one. Yes, beautiful. Read it. So all
Sir,
quiet on
which book?
all quiet on the Western Front. It's a beautiful book. Please read it. War, Western War. Anyway, so this is up to till today. Anybody who has given one answer for the second question will definitely get half mark. So 1 mark, they will get half a mark, and both of them can of course get one.
Sir,
Okay.
what will be the syllabus for tomorrow's test?
Till yesterday's.
Okay.
Till yesterday, whatever has been taken up in the class, I have given you or circulated you also all the notes. You have them with you. Please go through them carefully. Up to that only will be tomorrow's exam. Okay.
So can we leave the class?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please,
Hello.
please. Your lunch
Sir,
is waiting,
sir.
please. Yes,
Sir,
bolo.
Rajesh here, sir.
Bolo.
Sir, regarding the sharing of tomorrow's exam link, I want to tell something.
Yeah. Tell.
We will be sharing the link for tomorrow's exam on this same platform, MS Teams, and it will be a Google Form link. Okay, and you have to upload a single PDF file containing answers of all the questions.
Please write your name and roll number properly. Otherwise, it cannot be evaluated.
Yes.
That is very important. Don't miss it.
Yes, sir. And save your PDF file as your roll number so that we can easily identify.
Good. Now another yeah. Please save your PDF as your roll number. Good.
Okay.
Okay.
That's it, sir. Thank you.
Okay, guys. All the best. Please do it well. If you do it badly, that means I will think it's my failure. I have not done justice to the course till now in the class. Okay. So it will be my failure, not yours. But I am sure you will do it well. Okay. See you next week. Have a nice weekend. Okay.